it's obviously important that a teacher of anything has some confidence. Have we not all experienced teachers in school lacking in confidence? Weren't they thrilling?
Don't you remember them?
Yeah.
No.
They're really bad, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really bad. Really boring.
So, first, to stand up in front of, we talked a little about this in the break, the requirement to look the part, we've talked about why we wear what we wear, I particularly don't like wearing anything apart from a dressing gown, as I've said, yet still, for me to be up here with a dressing gown on, somehow something is lost. Dignity. And so first, I think this is mainly for when we have men teachers, because I think women have a basic interest in how they look in any case. And so if you look good, then that's the first part of being confident in front of a class. It's also important that you are grounded before a class. What does that mean? What does it mean? Yeah.
That you're breathing, you're not like...
Go ahead, Peter.
Yes, right.
Sorry.
That you're breathing properly, you're not agitated, you don't have something bothering you.
Yeah. So basically that your feet are on the ground. You're not... If you get very late to a class, if your students are waiting outside the door, if you're running in trying to put heaters on, finding the electricity's off, and you don't know where to switch it on, you're going to start the class with a much higher voice for a start, and you're not going to be grounded. Your voice is just going to be going up, and your mind is going to be freaking out. So, how to ground? Eating is good. I know we ask people not to eat for a couple of hours before coming to a class, but as a teacher, especially if you're not going to demonstrate that much, I usually eat a little bit of something before a class to make sure I'm not so much in my head. Still eat lightly, not enough to cause indigestion, or just a little something before class.
And it's not directly before class anyway, because we eat and then get ready and drive there.
The next point in the book is to sit quietly, meditate and watch your breath. So how many of you do that? Oh really? Jesus, you're good. Okay, well that's...
in class, you mean?
No, before class. Alright.
If I've got time.
Okay, well that's it's a good point if you have time to do it. Really good to sit calmly for a while.
It makes it a smoother entrance to the class. So much better.
I find if you've got everything done, your halls, especially in the summer, to just lie in semi-supine and breathe. You have your hands on your belly even and breathe in and out for a little bit before anyone comes to class. It's very enervating, very grounding, very slows everything down.
I particularly like to do...
I was speaking when we first got here today, we have had one or two teachers lose it completely. Going to institutions.
I don't think it was all because of us.
No,
I think they had that tendency anyway.
That was a latent tendency.
It was a latent tendency.
Definitely.
which was exacerbated by certain yogic practices that they were asked not to do.
So they did.
Sorry?
And so they did.
So they did it because they were asked not to. Well, yes, but it's true. There are certain spiritual practices that bring about an abnegation of the egoic self. Are you all with me?
No.
All right. Certain practices we use in class make us feel good, make us feel light, make us feel very clear, very present. If those practices are overindulged in, one experiences states that are normally only available as drug-induced states. I see. Through those experiences, experiences of what we would call heaven can flip easily into hell experiences, psychotic experiences. So basically I brought this up because it's the opposite of grounding. And we ask that you, from time to time, as teachers, do a particular practice in order to prevent this happening. And it is, even though as unlikely as it is for it to happen, unless you go really off on a very strange tangent, we ask that you practice Anuloma Viloma, or Nati Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathing. In yogic physiology, the left nostril controls the functioning of the right brain, or vice versa. The right nostril controlled by the left brain. To breathe in, out in this way, instead of, we tend to do this for an hour, and then we do this for an hour, and then we do this for an hour, we alternate nostrils. Consciously, you can do it using your fingers, like this, or with a little bit of practice you can do it psychically. This balances the left and right brain hemispheres and prevents any problems whatsoever. So every now and again, maybe once a week for a couple of minutes, we recommend that you practice Anuloma Viloma or Nati Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. We do this in class quite a bit, well, once a term anyway, as well. That said, if yoga was originally, and is originally, a form, a means by which one changes, yoga is a pathway to something called enlightenment. Doesn't have to be, but originally the mother of all yogas, Kundalini Yoga, is to raise an energy system in the body that lies dormant in 99% of human beings. So doing a lot of yoga obviously makes one quite calm.
Like, is doing it for 45 minutes in the morning, just some postures and breathing. That's not what you're talking about, right? You're talking about excessive.
Yeah, excessive.
Yeah.
And the type of yoga that we do,
It's not.
It's not excessive.
it's not a concern. We can do this type of yoga. In fact, you could do other types of yoga. It's really when you hone in and do just specifically perhaps the Kundalini practices, the Kundalini of raising this energy in the body. If there are blockages or, as we've seen, latent tendencies of perhaps a chemical imbalance in the brain, it can set off different manifestations.